It's now my distinct pleasure to introduce a man who is no stranger to Alberta politics and who has played an important role in a number of portfolios since he was first elected as an MLA in April of 2019. We were fortunate to have him sworn in as our new Minister of Finance and President of the Alberta Treasury Board on June 9th of this year. Now, I don't want to discourage the Minister from coming to Calgary in the future, but we are steps away from the home of the Flames. They put their stamp on their first game of the season with a win. Unfortunately, the Oilers minister were not able to do the same last night. I don't want to take cheap shots, but we are in Calgary, so I thought I'd be remiss if I didn't take a chance to start up the Battle of Alberta as soon as possible. Please welcome the Honourable Nate Horner.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming, Nate. Nice to see you. Thank you very much. Can you hear me? Is this thing on? Okay, good morning. It's always nice to have some Battle of Alberta talk. I am a Calgary fan and spend a lot of time in Edmonton and very outnumbered, so I appreciate that. Thank you for inviting me to speak with you today. I know how important this conference is for business leaders and industry experts to come together and have substantive conversations about the dynamic trends and issues shaping Alberta's capital market. The market plays a vital role in supporting the province's economy. That is why forward-thinking conversations like these are important to support ongoing growth and innovation in our economy. Just last month, I had the opportunity to present Alberta's strong story of fiscal management and low-tax, pro-growth policies to investors in Toronto, Montreal, and New York. Today, I'm pleased to talk more about what we're seeing in Alberta's economy and the opportunities our province offers to businesses and investors. First, let me say, what I'm sure you all know as business leaders in this province, Alberta is proving to be one of the most attractive jurisdictions for businesses to set up shop in North America. We have the lowest general corporate income tax rate across Canada, a factor that continues to attract corporations and companies to invest in our province. In 2023-2024, Albertans and Alberta businesses would pay at least $20 billion more in taxes if Alberta had the same tax system as any other province. This is money that businesses can put towards expansion and creating jobs. That means more high-paying jobs for Albertans. So far this year, employment has grown by more than 78,000. We are committed to maintaining Alberta's pro-growth, low-tax, business-friendly environment to ensure that businesses in Alberta not only survive, but truly thrive. In fact, we will be proposing amendments to the Alberta Taxpayer Amendment Act this fall that would prevent future governments from increasing personal or corporate income taxes without approval from Albertans. When I talk about investment and growth and job creation, I'm talking across the board. Alberta's economy is diversifying beyond the traditional oil and gas sector through substantial investments in emerging industries. Strategic investments are paving the way for the growth of innovative sectors that promise new opportunities and sustainability for the province. For example, in 2022, there was an increase in non-energy investment of more than $4.4 billion compared to the previous year. Amazon Web Services has plans to establish a prominent cloud computing hub right here in Calgary. This significant development signifies the trust this global company has in Calgary's technology space and holds the potential for a substantial technological and economic impact on the city. With the groundwork laid and strategic initiatives in place, Alberta's economy is on a trajectory to become even more diverse and resilient with growth across many sectors. One of these sectors is financial services. Alberta is a growing destination of choice for financial services and fintech companies. Between 2000 and 2020 and 2022, Alberta's finance and insurance sector saw impressive growth and an average annual GDP increase of over 4%. In 2022 alone, this sector contributed $14.5 billion to the provincial GDP. To further promote growth in this sector, we established the Financial Services Concierge and Regulatory Sandbox. Both these services are designed to help financial companies expand their offering and provide a broader range of innovative products and services in Alberta. The Financial Services Concierge aims to streamline your experience by offering efficient and timely information on how to establish or expand operations in Alberta, ultimately saving you and your business valuable time and resources. Since its creation in 2021, the Concierge has engaged with over 30 entities, including pioneering Canada's first digital asset custodial trust company, Tetra. Using the provincial regulatory sandbox, new and existing financial services and fintech companies can test innovative products or services without immediately meeting all regulatory requirements. To illustrate, we're exploring opportunities to make halal financing available when purchasing a home in Alberta. The regulatory sandbox is one option that could be used to test halal mortgage products to help develop legislation enabling provincially regulated financial institutions to offer them. That would make Alberta the first province to explicitly permit halal financing by a provincially regulated financial institution in Canada. In addition to Alberta's regulatory sandbox, the Canadian Securities Administrators, which includes the Alberta Securities Commission, also manage a regulatory sandbox focused on Canada's capital markets and supporting fintech businesses in Canada. This regulatory sandbox gives firms relief from securities laws requirements to test their products, services, and applications throughout the Canadian market on a time-limited basis. This is faster and more flexible process than a standard application. Our government firmly recognizes that we must be more adaptable to new technology and ideas to keep up to date with these changes. The Concierge team works collaboratively with the Alberta Securities Commission to support companies in their development of new products and services for Albertans. So we're attracting investment through new services that encourage innovation and diversification. We are also working to boost investor confidence by managing our province's finances responsibly. As you know, Alberta's revenue is highly responsive to oil prices. To put it in perspective, $1 fluctuation in WTI oil prices can impact Alberta's budget by about $630 million. Throughout much of our province's history, Alberta's distinctive economic and revenue volatility has posed budgeting hurdles. We're aware that continuously increasing spending during each boom and bust cycle is unsustainable. That is why our government implemented the new fiscal framework to signify our dedication to securing Alberta's future. This framework provides the guidelines to maintain fiscal responsibility while meeting the current and future needs of Albertans. And we're not just giving this lip service. Our most recent quarterly fiscal update shows us fulfilling two important aspects of the fiscal framework: balancing the budget and limiting in-year expense growth. The new fiscal framework requires government to allocate half of any available surplus funds towards the repayment of maturing debt obligations. Our current projections indicate that we are on track to eliminate $2.6 billion in taxpayer-supported debt this year. Once the mandatory debt repayment has been made, the remaining surplus funds will go into the Alberta Fund, which will then be used to support Alberta's fiscal priorities. Funds within the Alberta Fund serve three primary purposes: paying down more debt, additional investments into the Alberta Heritage Savings Trust Fund, and supporting Albertans through one-time initiatives that don't permanently increase government spending. According to the first quarter update, our allocation to the Alberta Fund is estimated at $2.6 billion for this fiscal year. We're also working to grow Alberta's long-term savings account, the Heritage Savings Trust Fund. Earlier this year, we amended legislation to make it easier to grow the Heritage Fund by allowing investment income generated by the fund to be retained within the fund. In the first quarter of 23-24, the Heritage Fund earned a 2% return, resulting in a net investment income of $739 million. Its fair value of net assets on June 30th was $21.6 billion, an increase from the $21.2 billion recorded at the end of the previous fiscal year. Alberta's economy continues to show resilience. Despite ongoing global volatility, the province's economic outlook remains optimistic, and it is well prepared to overcome any challenges that may arise. As you may recall from our budget projections, we're anticipating a surplus of $2.4 billion in 23-24. However, our fiscal position has since improved. According to our first quarter fiscal update, We anticipate an additional $94 million to the expected surplus for the fiscal year 23-24. This positive trend is driven by several key factors, such as higher than expected revenue from personal and corporate income taxes. Our province's business-friendly policies have not only encouraged growth and investment, but have also made Alberta an attractive destination for thousands of newcomers. Since the start of the year, more than 46,000 people have moved into the province from the rest of the country. Alberta's improving economic and fiscal position has been recognized by various credit rating agencies. This year, Moody's Investor Service upgraded its credit rating for Alberta, and Fitch Ratings Inc. improved its outlook for Alberta's rating. Most recently, DBRS Morningstar upgraded Alberta's credit rating. In fact, the prevailing consensus suggests that the province is once again positioned to outpace the rest of the country in terms of economic growth this year. Earlier, I talked about the importance of Alberta's strong and vibrant capital market to our economy. In the same way, the performance of Alberta's economy also influences various aspects of the capital markets. On that note, we are committed to moving Alberta's economy forward and will continue in our efforts to make Alberta the most attractive jurisdiction for investment in North America. We remain focused on attracting more investments, boosting economic growth and diversification, and creating more well-paying jobs for Albertans. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. Very much appreciate it, and thank you to Stan for the invitation. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Minister Horner. We appreciate you taking the time to be with us today. And it was a pleasure to hear you talk about the government's steps towards ensuring collaboration with the industry, with the capital markets. These are important comments to hear. You heard from the panel who was here before us talking about that need for collaboration amongst governments and the partnerships, and so it's wonderful to hear that commitment.